And greetings everyone, greetings, and welcome back to the Swedish Tavern. Well, it seems I got stuck in the Diablo 3 open beta, as you might have noticed. But now, as promised, back to Path of Exile and a little deeper showcase and look around at the passive tree, or as I like to call it, the goddamn passive forest. This is not a tree. This is a goddamn over ambitious root thing, and it's spreading. Oh, it's spreading. Yes, indeedy. And then, shall we get going? Now, I have been checking around in the int part. At least quite a bit, since that's where I've mostly been playing recently. And, well, there doesn't seem to have been a lot of changes around the routes that I usually go. You have the thing, when you start up here, you have just up here, you have spell damage. All the way up here you can switch to fire damage, cold damage and lightning damage, and a specific to each elemental attack. You also have one for summoning here, and I think it was AoE? Yeah, it was. Here we have different mana regions. More mana shields, was it? Oh, energy shield, sorry. Life, let's see here. I think it was 1 damage and dual wields and crits, maybe dagger damages around here. Claws, oh right, for the new class there. Oh, there's the crit. Right. Now this place is so huge, so yeah, don't be scared to just take some time, look around. See what you like, if what you can find, or for the matter, how you think that you can put together your own spec. What you're planning, at least. Are you planning to be like I've done here? You see, I've gone for all the summoning nodes, and they are quite spread out. Yes, there's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. You have the special one right at the start. There's one, and then you have the last one down here. Let's see. I have not gone down this path anytime. Let's see. Mana region. Energy shield. I'm still trying to think of a type of spec where if I can just get up my casting speed to a ridiculous amount, just mana, cast speed and energy shield, try and make some kind of a just fast spamming caster that just goes on survivability and spamming low damage just at an alarming fast rate, to weigh up for the lack of improved max damage. Let's see, cast damage, AoE. What's this again? Alright. You know, I can never keep in my head how it worked with increased critical strike chance and increased critical strike damage multiplier. But I'm guessing this one increases the chance to get a crit, and this one increases the crit damage you get. Maybe. I think so, at least. Feel free to correct me, people. Self-freeze reduces freeze duration on you. Ah, I see. Also, I think for the next character I am planning to do, I am going to make a character that's going towards being as unkillable as possible, having as much survivability as it's just possible to get, resistance, not Not burn, not get stunned a lot, not get frozen or freezed a lot. Lightning, okay. When on low HP. Oh, there's a nice one. 20% chance to dodge spell damage. That's neat. Removes all armor and energy shield. Ah, okay, so you cannot... I see, I see. From the shadow. The shadow? Yes, the shadow. The shadow. The shadow. Plus points if you get that reference. Dagger. I can't wait to see what the what new class here will... Well, what it will be, actually. What class? I still don't think of the different characters you pick as a specific class. I think of themselves as just an avatar that you pick. This is going to be the character that you want to pick, how you want to look, and what type of class you make it, that is entirely up to you. Like myself here. I have a lot on summons, and then I have on lightning damage. So I class myself as a type of warlock. Whereas, for instance, my Marauder Lurk I see as a berserker barbarian thingy. I see him as a Conan. I have a two-hander. That's about it. I aim at stuff, they die. Yeah. That's the plan anyway. But yeah, if you try to think of it like this, if you're new to this, you might not have thought too much about it, or if you haven't, well, thought, you get my idea here. See here, you have int. Int goes straight up. You have pure int stuff going straight up. If you go here, between the dex one, it's down here, and int, that's where you have int dex. Skills that are around having mana and dexterity. Well, intellect and dexterity skills in some kind of combination. And that's where all the dual wielding daggers and claw weapons comes in. But for the moment we don't have the specific thing to start from here, since it's not implemented yet. But it is going to be very interesting to see what it will... well, what they will name it. So you have a lot of dagger and claw thingies and dual wield things in these areas here. There are so many accuracy things. I'm still wondering, what do you need all this accuracy for? I mean, there's just so much accuracy, and I think you get a ton of accuracy on items. But I can imagine if you want to forsaken all your accuracy on items to be able to get other stats and attributes on all your items, so then it might be a good idea to put in some on accuracy passives to fill up the loss you get. Let's see, what did we have here? Alright, this I thought was interesting. You see here, if you go here from the int dex fellow, just keep on going here on the node highways, as I like to call them, because there's no specific things like here. these are just node highways for me. So go along the highway and you get here. So Raker 1. And there you have number 2. There you have number 3. And for some reason I just like it that there's 3 different ranks of them. It's a neat thing. When you find something in the tree that you like, or the forest, you find something in the forest that you like, and then you look around and oh wait, there's a second one and a third one. Sweet! And I really love leech and claws, so this is perfect for me. What do I have here? Adder's torch with daggers. Oh, poisons enemies. Huh. That's kinda neat. So is that just like poison arrow and all the other things that you do chaos damage then? I like that. I hope there's more of those things. Do special types of attacks. Claws. Oh, hello. Projectiles. That's a far way to go up there, but oh well. As some of you may have seen, I changed Ricardo the Third once more, my duelist here, and I am dual wielding wands. So I'm trying to see how I can make a wand dual wield spec in the dex tree here. And there are plenty of projectile and other fun thingies, so you can get around and make something fun. Let's see, so we're still on the int dex part here. Create tons of evasion, so I guess you are also beginning to see a pattern here with evasion, 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 and then you have all the dodge, more dodge to spells. Whereas if you think it like that, in the int part it focuses a lot on energy shield and boosting up your shield, whereas down in the strength part it focuses more on HP and armor, and in the dex part it focuses more on dodge and evasion. Or maybe they're the same. What do I really know? Now these kinds of what I like to call lesser keystones, since you see you have some, there are some specific that are big, the so-called keystones, and these other ones I, at least for my own reference, like to call lesser keystones, and when I'm explaining to friends, since it's a bit easier to understand, that you have the normal you have the normal nodes of different kind, and then you have lesser keystones, and then you have keystones. Or, well, I could just as well call them keystones, normal keystones, greater keystones. No, fuck it. I'll stick to my normal. I'll just confuse my own head. Either way, so by looking around quick, you will see that there are a ton of lesser keystones all over the place, and most of them have some special features that, well, as you see here, chance to knock enemies back on hit, and it also increases the knockback distance. Now add that up to some other things, I just can't remember where they are. Well, here, there you have 2 of them. I think there are some more in other places. Increases knockback distance. So if you want to, for some reason, make a juggler. Now, a juggler is what I call characters in games that have the ability to do knockbacks and keep on juggling them further and further away, since they're constantly getting in their knockbacks, and them in some way if they can improve the knockback distance. And therefore you make a juggler. Once more, as I stated before, I see the game in a way that my class is what I make it and what I call it, since it's easier for my own reference. I am a warlock, since I have focused on not just summons, because then I would just be a summoner, but I've also focused on one type of elemental attack, so I call myself a warlock then. I just default if you increase fire or cold or lightning and improve your spell damage in some way, you're a warlock. In my head, at least. Now let's see, where were we? Ah yes, rank 1, 2 and 3. Let's see here, what do we have here then? Critical strike, crit. Increased projectile, 18%, that's sweet. Now projectiles are arrows or projectiles, and also spells that you throw that fly away, say for instance spark, fireball and stuff like that, because they are fired and then they are a projectile. Yes, they are spells, but they are also fired using your spell and then a projectile is flying. Now I may get raped about this again, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it works now. Praise Mark will not smite me once more for my stupidity. Let's see here. 18 increased damage with one-handers. Damn, that's a lot. One hand. 18. Whew. Dual wield block. Now that is a nice feature that it's a bit spread out in the forest, but you can find them here and there, where you can increase and have, if you're dual wielding, you can still block even though you don't have a shield. And that's a really nice feature, I think. Because usually when you go dual wielding in most game, you forsake your survivability just because you cannot block attacks. Damage while dual wielding. Well, if you spec this, why would you not be dual wielding? Damage while dual wielding. Why isn't it just called increased dual wield damage? Like somewhere that I cannot remember at the moment, but I will. You see down here at the export, like, god damn it, I know it's here somewhere. While dual wielding. But just like here, I mean, wait, while dual. You know what? I think I'm just nitpicking now. I'll move on. God damn it! It's just words. Words don't control me. Blinding speed, 12% attack speed. For that's 20, right? Math after work. 12 plus 4, 16. Yes, 20. Thank you, brain. Thank you. Thank you for that one. Hey, and don't act like you're... don't act like I'm the only one who's talking to my brain. You're doing it too. I know it. 4. 20% increased defense from shield. Damn! Why the hell is that hidden over here? Sneaky bastards! Wait, dagger and claws. Is that just when using a claw? Yeah, it doesn't specifically say dual wielding. Huh. Shield. Oh wait! This is where... This is where my Durk should be, really. The type of spec he has. It's just that he has the life read. Okay, and then Durk should go up here or the other way around. Huh, interesting. A shitload of accuracy. Holy crap, Ola! And then I think we start to go into the Ranger's domain, yeah. And you will start seeing bowing increase damage, one-handers. Shield block down here also, okay. That adder touch, I really like that, that's a neat thing. I would like that on Durk. Claws, a lot more claws. Attack speed, crit, sword damage, dagger, huh. Bow, yeah, I've been here, and it's a pretty simple layout right when you start with the ranger here. Basically, either you have projectile and bow increase damage by many different ways, and then you can either turn straight up on the highway and go to, I think it was knockback, yeah. Or you do like I do, because I can't live without it. I turn straight down on the highway. See here? Here's the ranger. You go straight here. You have all the bow damage and bow crits and all that. And then I go straight down on the highway. Because I, at the end of the magic road, want to get to that piercing damage. So that when you fire one arrow, there's a chance that it won't stop when it hits the first target. There's a chance that it will go past that target and hit the second target. And hit the third target. And there's a new chance on every hit that it might even go through every single enemy. So in a sense, you shoot one arrow and you're basically AoEing in a straight line. Kind of like a railgun from Quake. Physical damage with one-handers. Chance to avoid elemental status alignment. That's interesting. So that's basically, I'm guessing, shock, ignite, and frozen, or the chill effect, or I guess. I can't remember any other types of... yeah, these things are invaluable. You might think, well, why the hell would I waste my points on increasing my flasks? I mean, why? Well, this might not be much at the start, but when you start getting flasks that give you around 900 to let's say 1000 HP, and then when you start to add all these different flasks increasement up, suddenly you start gaining a couple of 100 extra here and there, or a couple of 200 here and there extra. It makes a huge difference. Trust me, a huge difference. God, so much. Movement speed. I have a little thing in mind where I just want to make a character that has the fastest possible movement speed in the game. Kinda like to make a hit and run fellow. Just to be annoying. Just for the sake of it. Meep meep. So motivation. Claws. and also people doing a sweep like this. 15%, that's neat. Doing a sweep like this, people, you might stumble over something that you did not know about. Like for instance, before the recent reset, I think at least, there was a node here somewhere, just a normal node like this, so I did not think about it, that I stumbled over when I was checking around. I was just going to fill out the minions here, and then I stumbled over and saw, wait, every time a minion dies, I get a power charge. What? I did not know that existed in the game. I was pretty upset. And now it's not there anymore. Boo! If they haven't hidden it somewhere, because I haven't seen it anymore. Resistance, resistance. Shock duration. But I digress. Let's see. We were down... Yeah, we had started checking around on the range. Now, as you have noticed, you can increase your bow and projectile damage by quite a huge bit, really. Frenzy charges, I do not know how many you can get, actually. But I'm guessing a lot. Now if you go a bit more down here, we start to see a couple of other keystones here. But that's not a bad thing, people. Because evading projectile, especially blue, that is magic, or yellow, the rare ones, skeletons that has goddamn aimbot programmed into their stupid little skull, they will not miss with their arrows. So increasing your chance to evade projectiles is not a bad thing. Also, people, remember, spells that you fire are projectiles. Evading spells, not a bad thing. No. 18. Oof. Jesus, you can increase your one-hand damage by so much. You know, it makes me wonder at the end of the day if two one-handers that you dual wield, if you spec it correct, if you don't out DPS a two-hander, then, or you do so much more damage so much faster than a two-hander does. Because now when I started playing in the Maelstrom of Chaos again, I started seeing some one-handers that had more or less the same damage as my two-handers have. And that just felt crazy. If you were lucky enough to get a drop that has 100 plus something % increased base damage. Avoid shock, avoid freeze. Chance to avoid chill. Chance to avoid being stunned, sweet. Now, you might think that sounds silly also. I mean, stunned, how many times does that happen? Well, just you wait until you are surrounded by 100 monkeys who are just wailing at you so fast, and then a goddamn buff monkey comes and and they all get frenzy, and then they're standing there and you're just stun locked. You're standing there getting a goddamn epileptic attack, and then you die. Experience loss. Woo! Or well, if you're a hardcore character, you for instance do a leap attack in, and you're charging up your attack, and you just get interrupted all the time. Stunned, 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 interrupt, stun, interrupt, stun, and then you die. Woohoo! Oh, flash recovery speed. So underrated. I have not heard many people use this, but
When you have 30% faster flask recovery, oh, think about it, people. You might think that sometimes your flasks recover pretty fast if you have them 30% increased recovery. Ugh, it's a lot. Increased mana. I wonder how much mana can I get up in. You know, when this game goes live, I will at some point have filled up every character slot on my account with all kinds of different weird specs. Just because I want to try out how much HP can I get, how much mana can I get, how much energy shield can I get, and so on and so forth and everything. But still, it's probably not going to be enough. Makes me wonder how long it's going to take me to fix all of that. 50% more damage. Oh right, point blank. That's what I call the shotgun keystone. There, come on. Just a bit closer. BAM! Thank you! Slice and dice. Oh, that's sweet. 24% increased accuracy there with access. I've never been much of a fellow to specialize in one type of thing because you find so many neat things. I just wanted to be able to use everything. Block, block, block. Frenzy Deadeye. Increased accuracy. Accuracy. Blade Master. Sword. Oh, that's a sweet thing for my Roadrunner thing. Yes, if you haven't noticed it, the heavier you get, the slower you move. You don't notice a huge difference, but there is one. I just don't think much about it. You know, just having just 1% HP regen per second, it does so much compared to having no regen whatsoever. I don't know how many times I've been saved just because I had like 40 HP regen each second or something. %. Endurance charges. And now we start going into the strength part, where there are a lot of specializations in two-handers, swords, maces, and so on and so forth. Or if you're like me, just wanting to increase two-hander damage, there are a lot of them spread out here and there. That's a nice one for you who just don't want to bother at all with accuracy whatsoever. You'll never be able to land a crit, but this thing goes into the thing I was talking about with making a character that has a really high attack speed, doesn't have a lot of base damage, but he or she will never miss, attacks at an just silly alarming attack speed. Yes, people, that just happened. Silly alarming attack speed. Say that 10 times if you can. Silly alarming attack speed. Silly alarming attack speed. Silly alarming. Moving on from one thing to another. Crit. Fire damage. Burn. Huh. I haven't seen this actually. So if you are fire spec, you can go all the way down here to strength 3. I'll be That's a neat thing. 15% resist to all. It's not a lot, but that tiny sum will do great wonders. I wonder what's the cap for damage reduction. I wonder. But I'm guessing it's like 75% or 85%. I have not played a character using a staff yet, even though Lurk at the moment is still using... Oh, I call it a spear, because it looks like a spear, damn it. So it's a spear. But there are some different staff nodes here and there that increases damage. I think also spell power and block, if I'm not completely mistaken. Staff, wait. Oh, stun duration. Oh, that's a nice thing. Can't steal my mana. Because I know at one point the devs will implement the things we hate in every goddamn game that has mana in some form. At one point, bam, you will come across some type of monster who is... It's incredibly weak, it doesn't do a lot of damage, it dies pretty fast, but it has the ability Mana Burn or my fung. My fung isn't quite cooperating with my head today. No, it is not. Mana Burn or Mana Leech. Especially Mana Burn, because it usually involves goddamn mind flayers in some way or form. They just show up, they burn your mana, and for each, say, percent mana they burn from you, you take a certain amount of damage. So poof, your mana is gone and you took a shitload of damage and you're cursing and you're so pissed. Your mana starts regenerating and then the next mana burn comes and you can't do jack. But needless to say, I still always enjoy meeting them because it's a challenging thing in all the forms those kinds of enemies have showed up in games. As I said, people, there's a lot of specialization skills in the strength tree. Ah, auras, sweet. I should make like some kind of buff fellow. I had that going at once with my Templar. I was gaining power charges, well, through passives and curses I was gaining power charges, frenzy charges and endurance charges, and I had it coupled with this, doing that I shared all my charges with my party members, and that proved to be pretty damn destructive, I must say. The only thing I needed to worry about was increasing my crit and hit rating, so I always hit and I always crit, well, more or less anyway, and just more attack speed. So I hit fast as hell, even though I missed some hits, it wouldn't matter because I would always get in a couple of crits and get up the power charges and get up the other charges, so I could constantly keep them on my party. And with auras also, I might imagine it would be kind of fun. Now 100 and 200 damage just keeps on going up here also, so that there are some options that when you can start, if you want to specialize yourself in some way with a one-hander or a two-hander, or just go with shield and increase armor and such. Now just look at people and think about it. That's 40% increased armor. I mean, that's almost double the amount of armor on any item you find if you take this. Think about it. how much that does actually. Think about it on lower level guys. I mean, if you're laughing at some monsters doing pathetic damage at you with the crap gear you find on the lower levels, just think if you had double the amount of armor on those items. Yeah. Ah yes, and now we start to see the increased elemental damage also. And yeah, here people, 40%. Yep, it's a lot. Like I said, go here, melee damage, and then it branches out. Two-handers or one-handers. Take a pick, take a pick. Body and soul. Oh, that's a sweet one. I like that. Defense from equipped... Wait now. Shield mastery. Wasn't there one... Yeah. Hmm... 4 additional block chance, 4 additional 40, increased defense from equipped shield, 40% increased defense. Now, the later shields that you start to find have a ridiculous amount of defense. If you would get both of these, once more people, think about it. If you go, take that one, and then you go all the way over here and take that one and all the other shield thingies. Oh lord, won't you buy me a shield? Yes, you will. Now we start to go into the int tree here again. You start seeing more spell crits, AoE increases, elemental damages on a couple of different places. That's a neat one, 30 and 20. Huh. Oh, B. That's a nice one also, 20% increased regen. That's all the regen some will need, at least. They are a bit mana efficient. And cast speed reduces mana cost. Now, once more people, things like this. 3% reduced mana cost. Well, who the fuck cares? Well, once more people, later on. At first, you don't really care. Because, I mean, you still... And now, I'm at level, what am I? 57, 58? 36 mana cost. Well, who cares? But when you start to take the ones that have abilities stacked up on them, it starts to become pretty expensive, especially when it's the type of ability that you can spam, and then suddenly you start spamming between 100 to 200 mana perhaps per attack. I mean, think about it, and I don't have 6 sockets linked. When you have 6 sockets linked, you have one ability that's your main attack. For instance, say Fireball or Spark or Split Air or the hell if I know, Frenzy. And you add 5 support gems to that. The cost would go through the roof. And then you think about it. How fast can you cast a spell around these levels? And then you throw it once. Poof! That's 100 to 200 mana that just went poof in 1 second. 10 seconds later, you might have just spent... On those 5 to 10 seconds, you might have spent 500 to 2000 mana for all that I know. Maybe not 2000, or maybe 2000. Ah. It's a lot anyway. And these things, later on, if you want to be a spammer, it's not a bad thing. Either this or stacking up on a ton of mana and mana regen. Now also, here's a fun thing, people. Avatar of Fire. Constantly discussed as a bit OP, but it converts all physical damage to fire damage. And so if you increase your physical damage by a shitload, and then this ability converts all your increase in physical damage and just makes it into elemental fire damage, and then you start taking on all the elemental increase damage and also on fire increase damage, since now all your damage is fire. Are you beginning to see the picture here, people? The synergy at the moment is kinda ridiculous. And as you may have seen on some people's movies, when they have gone almost straight off the bat straight away to Avatar of Fire, and on their way adding up different other things, and they are either one-shotting or two-shotting everything. Nothing is coming close to them, especially on the Rangers. It's crazy, 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 crazy. Staff, staff, staff. Ah, Pyromanic. I think I just got that some levels ago on my fire fellow that I did, yeah. And it does a ton of damage. But still, I have no idea how much percent of my main fire damage does actually the ignite burn effect do. But from what I've seen, at least if I land a hit and it takes 50% of the enemy's HP and I get the burn effect, the enemy will die. So at least it's safe to say that I make a ton of damage with ignite. It's not bad, at least. It does a lot of damage. Ah, now I start to see power shoulders. Very shock. Now, when the shock effect goes in from lightning damage, they take increased lightning damage, if I'm not completely mistaken there. Now down here I think they have hidden power charges somewhere, or have they taken that away now? Oh, it seems like it. I was pretty sure there was a node, a cluster of nodes before in the forest here, where when you made a melee crit you got a power charge. But that seems to be taken away now. Now this, people, look here. Mana gained on a killing blow. 5, 10, 25. So you get 25 mana back for every kill. That's a lot. And once more, 25 mana. I mean, I regen that pretty fast, yeah, but like, take here, Firestorm. If I just take that, or some other different kinds of abilities that they just don't cost a lot. I mean, take this. And if you add up a couple of other things that you, with your mana regen, increased mana pool, and from items that also gives mana back when you either hit or kill monsters, and mana leech percent on that, you're basically going plus in mana constantly. You're not going down if you just keep using your low abilities. Also, they're connecting with the thought process I had about if you make a character that wants to spam a lot, just spam low damage attacks constantly at a ridiculous, alarming fast rate. That will go pretty well, and yes. Now here, minion instability. It's a must-have for any summoner. Minions explode when reduced to low life, dealing 100% of their maximum life as fire damage. 100%, people. You think this is ridiculous now? I mean, here, look. My zombies. Almost 2000 HP, meaning they blow up and at least does 800 damage in an AoE attack. Now, up until I came to Chaos, I had just increased my number of how many summons I could have. I did not increase their HP, no, because I just sent them in as cannon fodder, just constantly summoning new ones, and they just ran in, would mostly instant die, and poof, one zombie explodes and the whole pack of enemies instantly dies. But if you think this was ridiculous now with 100%, before it was 200%. Yeah. Yep, you heard it, people, 200%. And I had focused a lot to try it out and to increase my HP on my minions. My minions had 2000 HP then. Meaning, when my zombie went in, when it blew up with minion instability, it did 4000 in AoE damage. Yeah, they pretty much cleared everything for me. And if they die, so what? If one minion dies, every enemy dies. That was basically it. Here we have some more fire thingies. Think the cold is there and the lightning is there. Yeah. So when you start, if you pick the witch and if you go straight up here, you have spell damage. And then you can branch out if you want to go for fire, cold, or go straight up on the lightning. And then when you get up here to the highway, you can either pick, do you want to go straight down here to improve your fire? Do you want to go straight up to lightning? Or do you want to go a bit over here to increase your cold damage? So you have some really good options at the start here. I mean, as you see here, either you can just go and, well, I like AoE, so okay, increase your AoE then, and then pick what type of element that you like. Or you can just, I want to increase with my minions, so I have at least one more zombie or some more skeletons at the start. And then you can just keep on going here with increasing your cast speed or crit or whatever, basically. It's a really sweet deal when you start here, because you can pick from whatever playstyle you have. Do you like fire, lightning, cold? Do you like summons, or do you like AoE, or do you just want to cast faster, or do you just, are you just a person who, I want to crit constantly and just instant kill everything? Well, do that. Also here, people, is a pretty exciting thing. Here. Try to wrap your head around this one now. Enemies you hit with elemental damage temporarily gets plus 30% resistant to that elemental. Enemies you hit with elemental damage temporarily gets minus 20% resistance to the other elementals. Meaning you mix it up. When you get in your, say you get in your fireball hit, now the enemy got plus 30% resistance to fire, but it got a minus 20% resistance to cold and lightning. So then on your second attack you fire either a cold or lightning ability. Or you can just have it at first you fire lightning, and then you fire cold, and then you fire fire. Because every time you hit with the elemental attack, they will get resistance to that elemental, but you weaken their elemental their elemental defense against the other spells. So when you throw a fire attack on them, they will get stronger against fire, but they will get weaker against cold and lightning then. And that's a really fun and interesting thing there, because then you, in some way, you can mix it up a bit. You will increase your damage, but you're also interacting a bit more with the game, I think. It's not just that, well, I spam my fire spell, it does a lot of damage. I just constantly press fire, fire, fire. But then suddenly you have to think a bit about rotations with your attack thingies. And that's a pretty neat thing for people who like to try and maximize their damage a bit. And to also not just go on a button mashing and try to use their head a bit and be a bit more clever and smarter than the average player. Not that I'm saying that the average gamer is stupid. Oh wait, did I? Yeah, moving on. Flee! Power charges. Power charges gives you more crits, if I recall correct. Now, not just specifically spell power or spell damage, just crit in general. If you don't spec for in different kinds of ways, like here, increases spell damage per power charge. So the more power charges you have, the more spell damage you will get, and so on and so forth. Now up here you will have the wand thingies, or at least the biggest wand node. Think of it as with the ranger down here, as the ranger had it, with arrows, just a lot of focus on projectile damage with the bow. And this is basically the witch's wand part here, just in the same way that the rangers have their bow part. And you have increased attack speed, damage, accuracy, and also adding, and this adds a lot. When you get these things, giving fire, let's see, is the light, oh here you have it. When you have these things, you add lightning, fire, and cold, and then suddenly you have gotten the skill gem elemental hit passively on your attacks. But as you can see here, it's 10% of your wand physical damage added. So it's not converting 10% of the it's not converting 10% of the damage you're making and doing 10% of, say if you did 100 damage, it's not then making 10 damage as fire damage and just 90 physical normal damage. It adds 10 more fire damage, and then you have this 10 more lightning damage and 10 more cold damage. So if you're doing 100 damage without any type of elemental damage, when you get these three, you will get plus 30 damage passively, because it adds up 10 lightning damage, 10 fire damage, and 10 cold damage. Now, if I didn't mathematically raped this example I just did, I think my head was on the right track. And just as with bows, you have knockback. Now, if you like people, you can make a wand juggler. You have wand knockback here when you get a crit, and then you go down into the strength tree and you go here and increases the chance to knock back enemies and increases the distance. So you can, if you want, and if you get in the crits many times, you can constantly just knock back lock a person, and that is what I call juggling someone. Kind of like when you're playing a fighting game, say like Street Fighter or Tekken, when you're doing combos and you're juggling someone in the air. In the same way, I'm thinking about this as you're constantly knocking back your enemy, juggling him back and forth all the time. And if you keep on going up here, now this is extremely powerful if you have the patience to use it all the time, and if you can just get up some good combinations here. Using curses is kind of a hassle since they run out after a pretty quick time, but if you use this, your curses will stay on forever. Now mostly you won't need to bother about curses because enemies dies pretty fast, but say for instance when you meet some very strong rare monsters, or for bosses, or in the Maelstrom of Chaos, where it's not uncommon for you to get rushed by a pack of say 10 to 15 magic mobs, and there might be 2 rare mobs in the mix there, and then you can just throw up a curse on them and it will stay there constantly, and that's a very sweet thing. But we go here, this means you can have 2 curses on the same monster at the same time, and you will get both the curse effects. Now I don't know how many curses you have found, people, but I have seen a lot of curses, and when you start thinking about it, if you just look on your skills, or if you think about the skills you have found, and if you think about the possibility of if you would be able to use both the curses you have found and have those effects work at the same time, like for instance the curse that slows down enemies and they can't attack fast and they cannot move fast. Now they are slowed, they will not get to you, and even if they do get to you, they will hit so slow that you will be able to move away before the animation attack goes through entirely. And then you can also add another curse, for instance, that does more elemental damage, or you crit more, or you do a lot of more physical damage, and so on and so forth. There's some pretty nasty combos you can do there. Let's see here. Ah, yes. Here, that. Now here we have 4 quite interesting things here. See here, 25% more spell damage when on low life. Yeah, try to think about that, people. You have to play dangerously to maximize your damage. It's kinda nasty. Now we have this one. You get immunity to chaos damage. You get 80% more energy shield, but your life becomes 1. You're basically making yourself into an Archon out of StarCraft. That's basically it. You're making yourself into a Protoss. You have a huge amount of energy on your shield, and it will take them a ton of damage to get through it. But if they get through it, you die. There's no question about it. You have 1 HP. Your maximum HP is 1, and you cannot increase it in any way, shape or form. So if your shield falls, you're fucked. And you have up here, converts all your energy shield into mana. Now, I know what you're thinking, people. Oh wait, I can take this 80% more energy and then I take this. I will never go boom. Yeah, but back up now, people. Think here. You are immune to chaos damage. You get 80% more energy shield. That's great.
and you get 1 HP. Now then, you take away all your energy shield to get mana. And I will a shitload of mana, won't I? yeah, you will. But just think about this now. You have now 1 HP and you have no energy shield. You have a shitload of mana, you have 1 HP and no energy shield. You can't get any energy shield, you cannot get more HP than 1 HP, and you have a shitload of mana. So if you get hit, if someone so much as looks your way and sneezes, you die. But if you manage to play with that spec, I salute you. You will never ever go it should not be possible. And why not play as hardcore in the Cutthroat League also? Yeah. Or yeah, just play a hardcore character picking Chaos Inoculation with Eldritch Battery. Yeah. Good luck, mate. Once more. 1 HP. You cannot get more. So if you take that and then take these things, no, you will not get more HP. Because you see here 18% increased maximum life. Well, increasing 1 of 1, increasing 50% of 1, well, it won't happen much. Because it's still maximum life. If it would just be your life becomes 1. Oh, okay, well then I can still increase it. Because if I just get up to 50%, well then you'll have 1.5 HP. But still, you get what I mean. Now, take for instance, if you take it another step. You take this then. Your HP becomes 1, you take away your shield, and then you take this and you remove all your armor and your energy shield. So now you're completely screwed. You have no armor, you have no energy shield, and you have 1 HP. And then you go down here to the middle and you take blood magic also, just for the fun of it. And now all your mana disappeared. And you used life to use your spells. Meaning, every time you use a spell, you die. You have no armor, you have 1 HP, you have no mana, you have no energy shield. And as soon as you cast a spell, you die. As soon as anyone touches you, you die. As soon as anyone looks at you, you die. Feeling like poking yourself? Well then that's the spec for you. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here now, people. But just the last thing here. If you feel like you're lacking some strength, dexterity or intellect on whatever way you go here, in the middle here, people, you have 3 of these, 1 for each. You have a plus 30 int, 30 strength and 30 dex, and that might just be everything you need to be able to use the skills you want or get the items you want. Also here, people, Iron Grip. The physical damage from strength also applies to ranged weapons. So, if you make a character and it's very heavily strength based, you will still be able to get a lot of physical damage. And that is quite nice. Yes. And for all of you loot whores, item quantity. Yes, quite. And item rarity. Nom nom random sweet, sweet loot. And then, last but not least, leadership. Just beside conduct. Which I would just like to rename it to Party Master. Because you are the master of the party, giving everyone their sweet, sweet buffs. And with all the nice colored balls flying around, you are the Party Master. Until next time, people, this has been Michael at the Swedish Tavern, giving you, hopefully, some more insight where the hell everything is in the forest, and maybe even giving you a few ideas of what you yourself would like to spec. And perhaps you might have 1 or 50 pointers to give me on how to not mess up on how things work in this goddamn lovely forest that we so hate. Until next time, people, until next time. And remember, Party Master. Oh yeah.